All right, what's good? What's good, man? Let's get into it. So, you guys read the title. You guys are probably interested on why this title's here. But I'm here to say this. Micah Parsons will win the NFL MVP award. Now, is this most likely going to happen? Probably not. But you know what? Let me just make the case right here, right now, before I get this started. For any Cowboys fans out there, shout out to all the Eagles fans that rock with me. Shout out to all the Giants fans that rock with me. I don't know if I have any Cowboys fans out there that rock with me besides maybe a few. I'm a Giants fan. I don't like the Cowboys. I really don't. But you can ask all the Eagles fans on my channel. I'm very unbiased, and I always say this. Just because I hate your team does not mean I need to hate the players. And Micah last night was phenomenal. That was a defensive performance I have never seen since Von Miller in 2015. What Micah did, and people are going to, if you didn't watch the game, you will not know. You'll look at this. If you look at the score, you would think Dak Prescott went off. You would think CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Brandon Cooks, or what's the name? Gallup went off. No, it was the defense. And the defense was engineered and led by Micah Parsons. Listen, look. Micah Parsons is an animal. This dude is a monster. I think a year ago, people were saying that he might be the second greatest thing since Lawrence Taylor. And you know what? And I hate to say this as a Giants fan. It makes me sick to my stomach to say this as a Giants fan. Let's get it out there. They might be right. Oh, my God. You can hear my stomach just turn when I say that. But you know what? And, See, it's hard for me to say this. I am a Giants fan, so I'm very hesitant to say this, but I have to keep it real. He might be on par with Lawrence Taylor, and he might be. Oh man, I can't say it, but I have to. He might actually be a little bit better than Lawrence Taylor. Oh, that makes me sick to my stomach to say, but I got it out. And once again, I love Lawrence Taylor. I'm a Giants fan, but just hear me out when I say this. Lawrence Taylor, he's arguably one of the greatest football players ever set foot on an NFL field. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But keep this in mind with Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons he can rush the passer. He can line up anywhere, whether it's on the right side of the line, the left side of the line, or the middle of the line. He can intercept. He can help run stop. He can stop the running back. He can pass deflect. He can pass defend. He is an all-around player. And keep this in mind. This is what separates Micah from Lawrence Taylor. And Lawrence Taylor's great. Lawrence Taylor's great. Now, I think Micah's been in the league for 2 or 3 years now. And, I mean, the way how he's going, he might be on a Hall of Fame career right now. Micah plays in 2023. Lawrence Taylor was playing in the 80s. The rules favor Lawrence Taylor more than Micah Parsons. Listen, for all the football fans out there, even the Giants fans, the Eagles fans, and the Commanders fans who hate the Cowboys, and trust me, I hate the Cowboys just as much as you do. In a NFL where the rules are against the defensive players, and Micah is still dominant, can still sack the quarterback, can still run with wide receivers and pick off running backs and stop the run and line up anywhere on the line, whether it's on the right side, left side, or in the middle. You have to give him credit for that. In the year 2023, a defensive player being that dominant? I mean, you've seen what they did to other defensive players when they try to be dominant. Give Micah his credit. This dude is phenomenal. And I'm going to just keep it real. He should win the NFL MVP this year. Now, granted, it is one game. I know, I understand it's one game. I shouldn't be overreacting. But let me just make the case here. For all the quarterbacks that didn't play in the preseason, for all the quarterbacks who are rusty, it's going to take them, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks to get back, to get their feet under them. Now, granted, I haven't seen Aaron Rodgers or Josh Allen play because Monday Night Football doesn't come on yet. But at the same time, I love Patrick Mahomes. Shout out to all the Chiefs fans out there. He didn't look that good. Now, granted, offensive line was trash. Wide receivers were trash. Travis Kelce was out, but he didn't look that good. Joe Burrow looked like dog water. Deshaun looked good for my expectations, but he didn't look good to the most of people. Justin Herbert didn't look that good. I know Tua looked great, but once again, I mean, Tua is not a fan favorite to win the MVP. And plus, we need to rely on if Tua is going to play at least 11 games this year. Dak didn't look good. Jalen didn't look that good. Shout out to all the Eagles fans out there, but Jalen, he looked kind of iffy. Well, Jalen, he looked all right, but not as good as we expected. Lamar didn't look that good. I mean, shoot. I mean, I'm trying to think. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, they were down most of that game. And Brock Purdy had a good game, but once again, no one's going to give the MVP to Brock Purdy. Micah, if he's on track, if Micah is this great throughout the whole season, he will win the NFL MVP. And you know what? For all the football fans, you should kind of be rooting for that. You know why? Because the last time a defensive player won a Defensive Player of the Year, won the MVP was Lawrence Taylor back in the 80s. The last time a defensive player won the NFL MVP was Lawrence Taylor back in the 80s. And the last time a non-quarterback won the MVP was Adrian Peterson 10 years ago. It's been 10 years. As a football fan, we should be rooting for this. Because all we hear about is the quarterbacks. And listen, anybody who knows me knows. Listen. Quarterbacks are the most important position on the field. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. My whole channel for a month before football season come out was evaluating the star quarterbacks and the quarterbacks with the names. Quarterbacks is the most important position on the field. But honestly, we're at a point in football where we have to separate quarterbacks from the rest of the players. We have to. Like, if they came up with an MVP for just quarterbacks and an MVP for for wide receivers, linebackers, and cornerbacks and stuff like that, I'm perfectly fine with that. Because it's honestly, quarterbacks are always going to put up numbers. Even average quarterbacks in 2023 are going to put up numbers. I honestly believe you should separate quarterback position from everybody else. I honestly believe that. Because once again, or at least separate the offensive MVP from the defensive MVP, there should be a different MVP from the quarterbacks and from the NFL, or at least from the offense to the defense. And Micah deserves credit. This dude, can you name me another defensive player that's just as dominant as him? I know Aaron Donald had a decent game yesterday, but I mean, Aaron Donald, he's like, 33, 34. He's not going to be lasting that long in the league. Nick Bosa is going to get injured eventually. TJ Watt's good, but at the same time, no one is like Micah. They can't do what Micah does. They just rush the passer and stop the run. Micah does everything on the field. And Micah's not, how tall is Micah? I don't know if this, I should have probably looked this up before I did this video. But Micah's not like built like Aaron Donald, or he has like matter of fact, it says right here. Micah he's 24, so he's still pretty young. Dude is, how tall is he? He's only 6'3" and weighs 250. He's 6'3" and weighs 250. And this dude, it looks like unfortunately, my Oklahoma Sooners couldn't get him on our defense, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, man, give Micah his credit. We haven't seen a dominant player like this since Lawrence Taylor. Once again, Micah does more on the field than Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor's not known for intercepting and calling deep. Like, Lawrence Taylor's just known for sniffing coke and coming to the games 5 minutes later and beating everybody up on the field that was not wearing a Giants jersey. And I love Lawrence Taylor. And I love the documentaries they did on Lawrence Taylor. I wish I could have watched Lawrence Taylor. But at the same time, this dude Micah is everywhere on the field. You could tell Micah to line up against a tight end, and the tight end will struggle. Some of these bum receivers out there, you could probably tell him to line up against. He'll probably do good. Micah is an amazing player, and I hope he wins the MVP. I really hope he does, because that dominant performance, like, once again, if you didn't watch the Giants game, you will not understand how dominant Micah was and how he set the tone. He literally set the tone. I mean, the Cowboys, towards the end of the second quarter, the Cowboys kept Micah off the field because they didn't want him to get injured. Like, okay, bro, you're going, it's already 26-0, and the Giants are demoralized. We can't injure you, bro. Let's just come off the field, bro. They took Micah off the field early. Like, okay, chill out, bro. Wait for the Jets next week. I think that's who the Cowboys play next week. But, hey, man, listen, look. I hate the Cowboys, and, you guys embarrassed my Giants yesterday. But you know what? Shout out to Micah, man. That's my thoughts, man. What are yours? What's your thoughts on my opinion about Micah? And do you think he has a chance of even getting an MVP vote this year? RJ out.